Alright, so I apologize for the previous recording. It had terrible sound quality, so I will be not fixing that because it just didn't turn out that great. I'll make this video short, but basically we'll summarize and wrap up everything that happened in the first video. We'll count that as a bonus episode if you want to see. But essentially, playing Pokemon Infinite Fusion, beginning my Infinity Quest as we call it. So I'll be attempting a walkthrough or a playthrough of the game. But in short, Pokemon Infinite Fusion, in spite of what the name implies, there are actually a finite number of fusions, currently over 120,000. I'll begin my Infinity Quest of completing all of the fusions and getting them in the Pokédex. To begin, I will be setting myself some ground rules. First, there is a randomized option, but I will be avoiding that as most of the Pokemon should be directly obtainable. If I go through the game and I eventually find I'm missing some, I will eventually consider randomizing, but for the most part just going to try and go through without randomizing. Besides, there are plenty of cool Pokemon, and since my goal is to try and get as many of the base forms as possible, it'll be a little trickier if they're all randomized and fused. Secondly, and the fuse part will make sense later on in the game. Secondly, I have played some of the game before and seen some videos, so I know some of the stuff. So I'm not trying to do a Nuzlocke challenge or anything where if I lose, I get defeated. In fact, I've technically lost to a Rattata. That Rattata was very aggressive. If you end up watching the other episode, it was hunting us down, and it tried to kill us multiple times, and it did succeed once. So yeah, definitely not doing Nuzlocke. Third, I am not against resetting or restarting, particularly if I fail to catch a legendary or other difficult scenario. Yeah, that's about it. So at the end of the last episode, I began catching some and started, or I guess my bonus episode started preparing my team. In this one, I have gone ahead and caught several Pokemon, and then I'm going to begin some fusions. As my channel name implies, I will be going ahead and also referencing magic, as I happen to enjoy that topic. Now, some of the Pokemon in this game, they are, some of them are particularly cute. For example, one of my favorites in this game so far has to be this fusion right here. I have to tell it to start, I guess. Look at that little guy, just so happy. And when you fuse, you get to choose which of their abilities. Which set you receive from each Pokemon depends on whether you're fusing the head, whether they're the head or the body. So if I fuse them the other way, I'd have an option of pickup from the Meowth, but this way I have Technician. I have the option to use DNA symbols. I'm finding I prefer it this way, even though the sprites do get messed up and frankly look like abominations. And this helps me track which Pokemon I'm looking at. Some of them, the fusions, are not that grand. Yep. We'll learn Charm. It's an okay one. There is a reason I'm keeping it. It's because once I get it to Rizard, the final of all the evolutions, it will look real good. Some of them are also just frankly abominations, and you look at them, you think, kill it with fire. In some ways, this is one of them. If I saw a caterpillar with fangs, I'd be a little concerned too. Although admittedly, this one's not too bad. Hit the wrong button there. If I do that, I can engage Turbo, which I may use for running around from time to time, but we'll go ahead and take a look at my Pokemon as well as give them new nicknames. We'll nickname you Kolagon. Those of you who don't play Magic, Kolagon is from the Magic Plane or World of Tarkir. That is a dragon that breathes lightning. We'll just modify your name to sound a little cuter. So instead of a Zubat, we now have a Mubat. And here, we'll just nickname you Ratterpie instead of Caterpie. So these two, this one is just one of my favorites. I happen to enjoy using Meowth with Payday, and I also enjoy having Crobat, one of my favorite Pokemon. Now I can have both. When it evolves, this one is a particularly good user of different abilities and moves, so we'll be going ahead and sticking with them for a little bit. And then obviously I talked about how good it looks when it evolves. I do have some other Pokemon on my team. Go ahead and grab them. We will withdraw Sneadoran, and for now, we'll withdraw this Mankey. This one I have for purposes later on. So the wallpapers are just particularly lovely in here. Some of them are just really cool. But that brings me to what I'm going to be doing. So I have a lot of boxes, and I have numbered them according to Pokédex numbers. There's 351 base Pokemon in the game, so I will be going ahead and tracking them in here. Sometimes when you do the fusion sprites, it messes it up if there's a similar sprite that happens. And there's some fun retro wallpaper in here that I'm using for these boxes. So these are some of the Pokemon I've already caught. I'm going to hold on to their base form so we can fuse them later. As you can see, we've got a bunch of fun wallpapers. For the Kanto Pokemon, mostly stuck with this retro one just because it looks good, fits the theme. There's a bunch related to Hoenn, so I've stuck in a bunch of them for the Hoenn numbers. Of course, when we get past, it's not really any rhyme or reason, but just picked these wallpapers to finish off the remaining ones. And then also, you'll find occasionally you'll run into some other Pokemon from Gen 2 or other generations. You may have noticed we have here a Sentret. It's not showing there. This Sentret actually has its hidden ability, which you can actually see with the exclamation mark. Sometimes when they're in battle, Pokemon will have their name in yellow. We gave Ratterpie its hidden ability. That may have been a mistake since its hidden ability is Hustle, but figured we'd give it that. In order to give them the hidden ability, you have to catch them with that. Yeah, but for now, this is just going to be my substitute opening episode. The full episode I will make available as well at some point. We'll just list it as 1.2 bonus or something like that. But yeah, so Infinite Fusion Quest, hopefully everything goes well. Alright, thank you much, and we'll talk later.